This just in, the extreme cold is just trying its best to claw and hang on here across southern Manitoba. But there's some good and also bad news for the remainder of this week into this next upcoming weekend. What's going to be happening is, yes, our temperatures are going to warm up, but it's going to be such a roller coaster ride over the next few days that I think where a lot of us are going to be getting headaches. I'll explain starting now. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Justin with the Weather Center of Manitoba coming to you with a weather update here on our Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. Starting out once again looking at our satellite imagery here, and you see that we have clear skies, lots of high pressure, very high pressure, and we'll show you those numbers in a moment. But we can see we have a lot of clear sky, minimal clouds. You can see all of this white here, that's all snow through Saskatchewan into much of Manitoba. You see here's Lake Manitoba, here's Lake Winnipeg. Lots of ice covered, lots of snowy landscape. We're in the deep freeze, guys. Not a lot new happening here. A little bit of high clouds here through the Red River Valley, kind of moving in east to west from northwestern Ontario back west into portions of southern Manitoba and the Interlake region. But we expect those clouds to clear out throughout the evening hours going into our Tuesday night. Clear and cold night once again ahead for Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And that's the story still for the next couple days before we get that warm up later this week. Let's go check out those numbers now. All right, and next off, I'm going to show you guys a new website called Polar Weather here from Tomer Berg. And this is a really cool illustration of our different weather systems currently impacting areas across Canada this afternoon. And what I really want you to hone on is look at this number here. 1052 millibar high pressure system here across southern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba this afternoon. Now, why is that important? Well, 1052 millibars, that is an extremely strong high pressure system. And that is the reason why these floodgates have opened from the Arctic intruding into the prairie provinces, including Manitoba, over the last week or so, it seems. It seems to have been never ending because we've just had intrusion over intrusion over intrusion of this high pressure over the eastern prairies here. And there is some good news because, as we can see over time, the high pressure does at first still like to sit over Manitoba, parts of the northern states, but then boom, we see that that high pressure is finally sinking south towards South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, going into the United States. And what it's being replaced by is a strong push of Pacific moisture here from BC and the Pacific Ocean. You can see that illustrated here by a pretty strong low pressure system here off the southern coast of Alaska, west of BC here by, when is this? By Thursday afternoon. And as we continue to go through time, you can see that BC is getting a lot of rain and snow clashing into the west coast of BC. And that eventually is going to really hit BC here Friday going into Saturday. And then across the prairies, we see a first wave of snow here going into, I believe this is, Saturday afternoon here across northern parts of Saskatchewan. And then as we continue to go through the weekend, we will get maybe even a little bit of snowfall here throughout parts of central Manitoba going into late Saturday into Sunday morning. However, more importantly, continue to watch off the coast of BC. We see that there's enough of a moisture feed here and push of Pacific air that it generates an Alberta clipper here on Sunday into Monday of next week. And you see that brings a decent area here of snow and maybe freezing rain. But ultimately what it's going to be doing is bringing a nice surge of warm Pacific moist air from BC through the Rocky Mountains and then ejecting east into the eastern prairies, including Manitoba. There is going to be a major warm-up coming, and we see that being characterized here by the European model, especially going Sunday into Monday. So this upcoming weekend into the early portion of next week. So, in the meantime, we still have a plethora of extreme cold warnings smattered across much of the prairies, including portions of Alberta, much of southern Alberta, east into southern Saskatchewan, and then also covering much of southern Manitoba here on this Tuesday afternoon. And we can look into our warning here across southern Manitoba, and we can see that it was last updated at 4:36 a.m. this morning. A prolonged extreme cold event continues over southern Manitoba, with the region experiencing extreme wind chill values of -40 to near -50 this morning in parts of western Manitoba. And Brandon, the city of Brandon, once again for 2 mornings in a row reached that -50 wind chill mark. While wind chill values will moderate slightly during Tuesday afternoon, they're anticipated to return to the extreme levels Tuesday night and going into Wednesday morning. Extreme cold warnings are expected to remain in place over the next few days, likely till Thursday. Temperatures will begin to moderate by Thursday, with a significant warm-up expected by this upcoming weekend. Our temperature story over the next 24 to 48 hours, we can see that, yeah, southern Manitoba this afternoon has moderated in temperatures. We're seeing temperatures -15 to -20. Winnipeg through the Red River Valley, up through the Interlake region, and then also into the higher elevations here of Duck Mountain Park and Riding Mountain National Park here across western Manitoba. The sun is shining. It's actually a pretty nice afternoon, but the extreme cold you can see in these white color tones here hanging on through Brandon west to the border, and then up through areas west of the Parkland region of Manitoba, still struggling to get much warmer than that -20 mark here on our Tuesday afternoon. As we go into Tuesday night, going into Wednesday morning, we see these green tones return. That is cold, cold air once again, extremely cold temperatures returning to the Brandon area in the southwest corner of the province. Looks like lows by Wednesday morning still going to be around that -35 Celsius mark as we get into Wednesday morning around 8 to 9 a.m. Then throughout the day Wednesday, it gets even warmer once again, especially here across eastern sections of Manitoba, up through the Interlake region, and also those higher elevations. You can see Riding Mountain National Park here colored in pink. Those are warmer temperatures. And then also the Duck Mountain Park, also in those warmer temperatures in the higher elevations. But again, that extreme cold hangs on to the southwest corner of the province as we have 1040 millibar high pressure system. That strong high pressure system is still trying to hang on here across southern Manitoba Wednesday afternoon. As we go into Wednesday night, really cold once again, especially here around Brandon. Temperatures likely lows between -35 and -40 Celsius, not factoring in any wind chill on Thursday morning. And then finally, here we can start to see across southwestern Saskatchewan that push of mild air coming in from BC and Alberta. And we see all these squiggly lines here through parts of southeastern Saskatchewan into southwestern Manitoba, and also south into North and South Dakota. We can see that these wind barbs are pointed straight south to north, so it's bringing in some milder air from parts of the central U.S. And yeah, Thursday is going to be a much warmer day, a little bit windy as we have these tight isobars in place, but Thursday is going to be the start of our warm-up here across southern Manitoba, and in fact, much of the province. Okay, and finally, we want to look at the RDPS model here. And so why at the start of the video in the intro did I say that we're going to have some headaches this week? And there's good news, but we might have some headaches this week into the weekend. Well, that's because of our pressures here. Like I was talking about a little bit earlier on in the video, 1055 millibar high pressure system, that is extremely strong. That is a very strong high pressure system. And then as we go through the week, we'll let this model play out, and you can see that we're going from here on Thursday morning about 1040 millibar high pressure system across southern Manitoba to going into Friday, we're seeing our pressure gradient closer to 1000 millibars, and will be maybe even sub 1000 millibars as we go later on this upcoming weekend as an Alberta Clipper pushes through. So we're going to have about a 40 to 60 millibar pressure change in a matter of days. Our bodies really seem to react to the atmospheric pressures. So when you're having a 60 millibar pressure change within a matter of days, I would definitely be thinking that we're probably going to be experiencing maybe some headaches into the near future here. But I think a lot of us are willing to deal with hopefully a minor headache if it means that we're going to be warming up temperature-wise, which we will be by this weekend. So that's my weather update I have for you guys on this Tuesday afternoon. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. And have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.